I guess my main question is what quantifies as a thug life? Because I, I don't have that. I don't have that life in me. Chase Lee Hockey here with the Blue Futon reviewing Thug Life. So what's about? Pretty simple premise. This is a gangster movie from India that of course is in two parts of revenge, action, drama, love story, adultery, backstabbing, shenanigans ensues. So did I like this film? I thought it was pretty good, but I'm more intrigued now is when I checked Rotten Tomato for shits and giggles, how it is like a 24% with the audience. And I said, okay, that's a little bit odd. Let me just go to IMDb and get the drift of that. 4.9% out of 10, or 4.9 out of 10. I'm thinking, what am I missing? Is it because of the hype of the movie? People didn't like the overall outcome of the movie? Was it because of the actors? Was it because some of the premises? Was it because of part one or part two they didn't like it? Was it because of the inconsistency of some of the stories and dialogue? I don't know. I've seen far worse movies from India that aren't 4.9 or 27%. So I would like a Indian perspective of why this movie's getting panned hard by normal audiences. So looking at this movie, there is a lot of characters. There are a lot of, things going on with backstabbing, who should trust, brother, sister, politics, rival gang, like I said, adultery, who's this lady, finding Amar's sister, and things like that. Because when the movie did start, the first 30-ish minutes, 45 minutes, I was hooked. It was black and white, like 1994, and it was that nice, gritty feel of a gangster film. And with that, I was kind of excited, thinking, okay, we are going to get some more grounded action with this movie, and we do. There isn't like a lot of crazy wind effects. There isn't crazy people flying everywhere. It's mostly gun battles for the first half and story. Second half turns like a martial artist type of thing, which I think is a little bit silly, but we'll discuss that a little bit later. But I think the acting overall is pretty good. Unfortunately, we get to the story tropes of, who's going to turn bad, who's going to turn good, what's going to happen to some of the characters, why this one character was talked about in the beginning, and they finally come back at the end. It's like, oh, we can't just leave that character alone. And of course, it has to come back. And weird things to do with some of his wife character. Interesting aspects what they do in the second half. But anyway, first half is more story and more how these different gangs, rivals are on the rise and where they're at in the political realm. Of course, it ends with the backstabbing. Second half is the revenge part of what they're going to do when this guy comes back 2 years later. And I think that's where it gets kind of silly because end of Act 1, he falls down a fucking mountain. It's not just like a cliff, it's a mountain. Hits some trees, and he's alive. And you're just like, okay, simmer down. We need to at least tone that down just a little bit. And the problem is, because this tried to be a more grounded gangster film, I have to take credit off of that because I could, suspension of disbelief when it's like more of the bombastic Indian films. But this is more southern India, and they're more kind of on the realistic realm when dealing with this subject matter. So when that fall happens, you're like, okay. And all of a sudden, they're like 2 years later, the monks, they taught him martial arts, but he doesn't like the peace route or something like that, which is like, okay, fine. I completely understand that. And I was expecting like balls to the wall action. We got some good action set pieces. Nothing like overall like, oh my God, amazing, but pretty good in my opinion. The action set pieces also are, grounded. Same with some of the car chases. Of course, some CGI here and there. But you felt the gunshots. You felt like, oh, people are getting injured. And I felt that as well. And some of the car crashes, nothing over the top, but you're like, hey, you know what? That's some good car crashes here and there. But I think what people don't like about this movie is the dialogue and just I'm going to call it simplistic storyline, or it's just characters you've seen before, scenarios you've seen before, the backstabbing you've seen before. And I think that's what the main thing is. You've seen this story before, told multiple times before, and probably in better fashion. So overall, Thug Life, is this as thuggish as the movie thinks it is? I don't think so. Is it as horrible as a 49 or 27, 25%? No. But I will say I somewhat enjoy myself. I was intrigued in the story. The first 45 minutes was absolutely fantastic with the black and white and getting to know these characters. Then it kind of goes down the tropey route of, love stories and action set pieces and backstabbing and who's going to backstab what. And the overall reasoning behind it is a little bit silly. But for me, as not having a heart's not the right word, but a love of a lot of these actors that are coming from this part of India. I don't know if they're just expecting a lot more from them, but as a Westerner, a white dude in the United States, I was somewhat entertained. So Thug Life will receive a 3 out of 5 with futons, which equals at 60%. Let's see the critics and review scores gave this one. Critics, 8 of them, and we have positive, negative, positive, so at 50%, another positive, negative, so at 50% again. So that's 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 negative, 3 positive. And when we're doing simple mathematisms with that, that is a, 5 negative? So that is a 40, no, wait, no, am I an idiot? I'm an idiot. That's a 37.5%. So close to 40% with the critics. Then, of course, we have 29% of the audience score. But when we go down the audience review, we have a 80, a 40, a 90, a 100, a 50, a 40. So it is kind of all over the place as well. I'll stick with my 60 for now because, I was more entertained than not. So 60, 29, and 20 or 37. Chase out here with the Blue Futon. Like, comment, subscribe. I'm on the Futontopia. You Blue Futon. Stay watching for a great day. Watch us today, tomorrow, a week from now, a month from now, a year from now. I was just going to freaking one of you. Peace and love. Peace and love. And I need to start saying that end part slower because some people are like, what is he saying?